Anything beyond this point, you are able to buy cash flow. So when 61% of the people say that they need cash flow, the reason why I say I don't believe you is you really need cash to buy cash flow. Today we're talking about cash flow and cash, and there's a lot of misconceptions here and there's a lot of really bad information. So we're going to go over it. I'm going to show you how I think. I want to show you how I operate as a business owner. I want to show you the things that have made me millions of dollars, that have provided me with financial freedom. If you guys can take this and if you can go out and apply it to your life, and if you can go out and apply this to your businesses, a lot of it's going to be very, very, very beneficial for you. So a couple of things. We did a poll. I do polls not for shits and giggles. I do polls because I want to understand where people are at. So 61% of the people said that they needed cash flow right now in their business. We had 38% of people said that they needed cash. So how I look at this is cash flow is providing freedom while cash is providing options. There's a big difference here. So I find it a little bit interesting that most people said that they need cash flow. The reason why this is interesting to me is I don't actually believe you. I don't actually think that that's accurate. Most people need cash. So we've got two scenarios here. We've got this break-even point, or I call it covered. At this point right here, you are covered. This is your monthly expenses or your business expenses. This is, maybe your mortgage payment, your car payment, your health insurance, your cell phone, your Wi-Fi, groceries, etc. We have the exact same point here where we are covered. Anything beyond this point, you are able to buy cash flow. So when 61% of the people say that they need cash flow, the reason why I say I don't believe you is you really need cash to buy cash flow. Hey man, I really need cash flow. Go buy it. Why can't you go buy it? This is like a 5-minute thing. It's not a month. It's not 6 months. It's not a year. You go buy it. Well, I can't. Why? Because I don't have cash. Okay, so you don't need cash flow right now. You actually need cash right now. And then people start to go, oh, yeah, that's right. So we need cash. So anything above this point right here is buying you cash flow 100% of the time. And what I do is I go and I do one of these. Okay. So once I am covered, once I've generated enough cash to be covered, anything in excess of this is going to buy cash flow 100% of the time. You guys will get to a point very quickly, at least it can be quickly, where you are covered on cash flow. This provides you with freedom. If you continue to do this flywheel, if you continue to operate like this, you now are going to get to the point, let's just go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. You're going to get to the point, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. You're going to get to the point where this is no longer relevant. So when your cash flow is getting up to 22, 40, 50, I was like 6 months ago, I was at $100,000 a month in cash flow on the decentralized side. So I have real estate. This goes back to my streams of income video. If you guys haven't watched it, go check it out. It's in the replay section underneath the business hub. I was over $100,000 in DeFi. I had multiple businesses and I had my real estate portfolio. I have some other stuff as well that we're not going to talk about. So I want you to imagine being in a place where you're like $150,000, $200,000 in cash flow. This becomes irrelevant at that point. So again, imagine being to a point in your business where cash is not important, because this becomes evergreen AF. Go like this. How many of you guys understand what a flywheel is? A flywheel is, it does this, obviously. It's a wheel. So imagine like the wheel of fortune, and they spin it. That is a flywheel. And flywheel, depending on the industry and depending on what you're doing, is going to have a couple different elements. But it is a process of business, and it's a process of generating revenue that can dramatically be increased, and it speeds up. So when our passive income or when our cash flow is going through the roof, what it does is it speeds this entire process up. Same thing with your cash. Like once you're covered and you start to invest in this method, you're buying freedom, you're buying cash flow. This flywheel continues to speed up. Does that make sense? So we get to a point where this actually can become a problem. This actually can become something that now we really need to have a tax strategy. Now our cash flow is buying us maybe more safer and secure assets. What we really want is let me get rid of some of this. I'm showing you guys how to win. I'm showing you guys what literally people that make billions of dollars do. As our cash flow goes up, the other thing that we want to go down is going to be risk. Liability. This is why you see people that are really, really wealthy, they start to get very serious about trusts and they start to get really serious about like legal entities and all of that. So as our cash flow goes up, we want our risk and our liability to go down. They start buying more and more insurance policies, ones that can transfer to their kids. You start to see them focusing on things like gen wealth. So again, I'm calling BS on people that said I need cash flow. I was actually shocked to see this. If I need cash flow today, what I can do is I can go invest in any dozen projects that are available. I can go invest in that right now if I needed more cash flow. So it's not the cash flow that you guys are lacking. Oftentimes it is the cash. Does that make sense? So our cash flow goes up, our risk goes down, our liability. A couple other things here. As your cash flow goes up, you need to really be considering things like your debt needs to go down. So they start paying off debt. So this cash flow goes down here to debt. We start paying off our debt. We start consolidating and we start making decisions based on tax liability and asset protection and all of that. So one of the things, when I say with my cash, I can buy cash flow, what that looks like right now. This goes back to the streams of income video. This is almost like a part 2 of that. When I take this cash, when I have excess cash, and if I truly am lacking in cash flow, I buy it. A lot of people, they try to go out and they try to earn cash flow. Let me relate this to real estate. You try to go out and you try to earn cash flow by, building a rental portfolio or doing anything like that. I just buy it. It is no different for me. It is no different than me going to the store and buying a cup of coffee or a sandwich or whatever. Cash flow is bought, and it's bought very, very easily in 2023. So some of the things that I do is I have stuff that is 7% a month cash flow. I have some stuff that's 20% a month cash flow. We just buy this stuff. So you've got to get to a place, guys, where not only are you covered, like obviously covering your expenses, covering your bills is the most important thing. Taking care of your family, taking care of medical needs, that is number one. But when you're generating enough cash, when you can start to do this, it starts to get really, really fun. I want you to imagine being able to buy freedom. Again, it's no different for me than going to a store and saying, yeah, I'm going to buy this thing. It's no different. It takes the same amount of time. This is why I'm so crazy about like decentralized wealth and like all of these different things. It takes me less time to buy cash flow than it does to go to a store and buy a candy bar. It takes me more time to go to the store. There's a gas station like a block away. It would take me more time to do that than it would to go and buy cash flow. If I may restate here the way I understand it, flywheel, the process of generating revenue that can speed up, snowball. Cash flow produces more cash, and then I can use that cash and cash flow to buy more cash flow. Exactly. Especially when your cash flow is in excess or your cash is in excess. It starts to get dangerous. It starts to get very, very, very fun. Some of you guys aren't having very much fun right now in your business or even in your personal life. You're not having a lot of fun. I'm really trying to have fun. Does this make sense? What about experience in the type of cash flow? How do you analyze cash flow? So it depends on what sector we're looking at, or depends on what sector we're talking about. But a couple of the things that I look at is, let me take a step back if I can. Let me just take a quick step back. I have divided priorities and I have divided revenue. When I say divided, what I mean is I might do, this is just a random example, but I might do 10% that's more for like a high risk play. Like right now, I'm making 60, 70, 80% on my money right now in a higher risk play, but I would only do that with 10% of the money that I have available. I might go something like 60% in very, very low risk. So first and foremost, my decisions are a little bit divided on what I'm going to be doing with the money. Beyond that, what I look at is who's controlling the project or the opportunity. Okay, this could be any industry. Who is it? So who are they, or who's behind it? I look at reputation, I look at history, I look at industry, etc. These are all things that I take into consideration. For anybody that's like on the 71 side, you guys have seen like my rules for investing. I try to stick to those unless it is like this. This is like gambling money. For me, that 10%. So anybody that's like ever been to Vegas or to a casino, I treat that as the same. You never bet the farm, right? Some people are really bad gamblers, right? Like they get addicted to the dopamine. That's why the buttons light up. If you're playing like the slot machines, that's why they make a sound. That's why the colors are very specific. It's dopamine. Some people are really, really bad gamblers and they should never do that. Some people are better. I don't know. You have to have a vetting process for sure. For sure. I'm reaching gold. What other cash flow can we buy? Explain that really quick to me. What do you mean? Here's the problem that most people have. Most people, when they get cash, a couple things happen. Your cash sits. If your cash is sitting, this is the absolute most dangerous thing for it. Who knows why? Why is it dangerous if your cash is sitting? These are interactive. Inflation. You're not even close to even breaking even. You're not even close if your cash is sitting. Money has to have movement. So like streams of income, what does a stream do? If your money is not moving, you're screwed. It's got to be flowing. A lot of people, they get into this weird mode where they hoard it. Money isn't even real. You guys understand that, right? Money isn't even real. Money hasn't been real since when? Come on, you guys know this. When was the point when money stopped being real? 1971. So if money's not even real, why would you hoard it? Why would you sit on it? This entire thing is just a game. It's just a game. And it's a game of ideas, and it's a game of rules, and it's idea of concepts that are shared between a bunch of people. So if it's not real and it's just a game, play the game. You're not playing if it's sitting or if you're hoarding it or if it's not moving or if it's not flowing. Yeah, but Jordan, I've got responsibilities. Jordan, I've got bills to pay. That's just part of the game, right? It's just part of it. Some people are really good at playing it. Some people don't even realize it is a game. Some people literally think that money is real. It's not. We think it's tangible, and we think that like we go into the bank and we give them our money or we deposit our money. We think that like it's this thing that is actual, like in existence, that when you give it to them, now they have it. No, there was never anything to give them, and they never kept it. It's literally like just like on a ledger. It's like an IOU, and then they give that IOU to someone else, and then they give it to someone else. They give it to someone else. If you ever went in and said, I want that physical thing back that was never physical, guess what? They don't have anything physical. It's just a game. We got to learn how to play this game, guys. So cash flow is purchased, and it provides you freedom. Cash gives you options. Does that make sense? This is why I have zero fear investing in myself. This is why I spend so much money on masterminds and mentors and coaching and consulting. Guys, I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on these things because what I'm giving them isn't real in the first place. It's an idea, and they're sharing high-level ideas with me. Ideas make me money. If you can do this, you will never be broke again. Ready? I'm going to put it behind my back. If you can do this, I want to know, I'll see if anybody can guess it. This one thing, if you can do it, you will never, ever, 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 ever be short on money. See if anybody can guess it. It's one word. If you can do this one thing, you will never, ever, 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 ever be short on money. We had create, learn, invest, buy cash flow, gain knowledge. If you just learn how to create, guys, you're creating something that's not real. How difficult is that? My kid, he's 2.5 years old. He does it constantly. He creates things that aren't real. Right now, it's check this out. This is what he's creating right now. Crocodinosaur. It's a crocodile dinosaur. Half crocodile, half dinosaur. Kids are phenomenal at this. Okay, it's just a game to them. Creating is a game to them. It's a game to me, and it took me like over a decade to really, really, really understand how to play it. But when I jump in and I get into create mode, none of this is a problem. Not the cash flow, not the cash. Hopefully this was valuable to you. Hopefully it sparks some of the creativity. Guys, I do this every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. I'm not doing bamboo. I don't even know anything about bamboo, but I'm interested. Sure. It's gotta be passive. It's gotta be quick. I gotta be able to make quick decisions. I gotta be able to move money in and out pretty quickly. And it's gotta be liquid enough where I can pull money out as I go. Because again, I'm playing a game. I'm playing a cash flow game with my life. What's up, girl?
Hello. Does everyone hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. It might be a weird question because if anyone knows, I'm like fairly new to everything, but I'm kind of trying to boot camp myself in so I get as much information as possible. But when you ask like that cash flow question, so I
Sure.
was thinking like if I have enough cash flow, then I'm going to have cash and then I get the option to kind of juggle around my cash flow. You get what, like if more money, like more cash, good cash is coming in, then I have more options to kind of arrange the cash flow optionally the way I like, right?
100%. Yes, when that happens, you get to a point where you have a lot of options. A lot of people in the short term have very few options, but if your cash flow is like surpassing your monthly expenses and you have excess, and you're still getting cash, like from a W-2 job or from an investment or like a flip or like whatever you're doing, all you're doing is you're stacking your options. What I like to do is I like to like kind of rearrange the chessboard pretty often. And I will go from like, here, let me show you really quick. So like what I'm doing right now with my high risk money, it's gonna go high risk, is I'm funneling that right now into low risk. So it could be real estate, it could be a different project, it could be one of a million different things, but this is giving me options to be able to do that. So I'm able to it's almost like a chessboard or a checkers board. I'm able to reshuffle the deck and do this pretty often.
Perfect. So my brain was working correctly.
Probably better than mine this morning. I'm running low on the energy.
I love you, Uncle Jordy. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Define high risk. High risk is normally really high ROI. So like right now I'm making again between 50 and 100% a month on my money, but it is a little bit of a higher risk. Now, can you mitigate this? Absolutely, especially like stuff like diversifying and etc. Can you mitigate this? Sure. But high risk is normally when you see an opportunity that's really, really high. People say, oh, it's too good to be true. It normally is. Sometimes. Normally, this is not super long longevity. That's why I'm taking this money almost daily and I'm funneling it into something like low risk. Again, this could be real estate, this could be gold, it could be silver, it could be like something tangible, something physical. This is why we have real estate and alternative investments under the umbrella of the KNGDM Center. Both of them have their place. Both of them are important. So the ROI is normally high, the longevity, debatable. Where do I double my money in a month? Maybe something high risk for sure. It's going to come with a really high ROI. But again, it's risky, man. I don't want you to go from 4K to 0K. That doesn't serve anybody. There's options out there. Talk a lot about these in 1971. We're not super crazy on high risk because enough people have done it wrong. Like high risk really works when you're diversified. If you're not diversified and you just have 4K, kind of not good. So I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm not saying that there's not options. You wouldn't want to go 4K into one thing, right? What else we got? This isn't meant to be like an alternative investment call. This is business in general. So hopefully those of you that have been here since the beginning, hopefully this is really starting to make sense. I really want cash. Cash allows me to do a lot. Let me show you. When I have cash, what I do is I make decisions like this. So let's just say that I have this. Normally what I do is I make decisions on number one, what debt can I pay off? What happens when we pay off debt? Inevitably, what happens when your debt is paid off? See, Raj, pay off debt. Regardless, this is really a way to increase your cash flows by paying off debt. So when I have money, I look at number one, paying off debt. I look at investments, sure. I look at store of value. This is where like Havila comes in, where we can invest in gold and silver and platinum and palladium and build up this massive war chest. It's a war chest. So debt, invest, or increase my store of value. This never goes away. This only goes up. What I can do, this is why the Havila method is so powerful, is I can lend myself to buy cash flow, store of value, debt, go down, or I invest. When we pay off debt, it also frees up capacity like credit, right? Lending power. Guys, I appreciate you. I would love to see you again on one of these morning calls. Continue to ask questions, continue to grow, continue to invite other people in to grow, all of that. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you.